Hello, autoimmune warriors. This is something different. I'm going to start way different this time around because this is my true story. A few weeks after my endometriosis surgery, I started feeling off, a little exhausted, achy. I was already at work, and then I started getting pain that I couldn't ignore. I called the doctor's office. I got the nurse, and I told her my symptoms, and she says, "You're just sensitive." Picture this. I'm on the phone, having lots of symptoms, curled up, feels like a sledgehammer just knocked me in the abdomen a few times, pain radiating. And I apologized on the phone. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be difficult. Hours later, I ended up in the ER. The pain was real. The complications were real. But in that moment, I realized that I've been waiting permission to trust my own body, permission to say, this isn't normal. I'm Desiree Worland, and this is Stronger Than Autoimmune, from boardroom to break room. Today, we're talking about the permission you've been waiting for and why you never needed it in the first place. Let me tell you about Diana. Obviously, that's not her real name, but her story is very real. She's a corporate professional in her late 30s, high achieving, the kind of person who is used to solving problems before anyone notices them. For over a decade, she told herself, I'm not that bad. She falls asleep at stoplights, nap in her car instead of eating lunch, struggle with brain fog so intense she had to redo her work, and deal with constant bloating and fatigue. She thought all of this is normal. It wasn't until she did the whole 30 reset, paleo reset, with friends, some coworkers, that she realized something crucial. She just didn't feel better. She felt okay. Not amazing, not thriving, just okay. And that's when the thread started to unravel. If this small change barely shifted how she felt, then what she had been living with before, it wasn't normal. That moment of clarity, that flash of realization is something most of us never get because we're just too busy waiting for someone to hand us permission to even admit something's wrong. So let's talk about those permissions. The ones we think we need: permission to be sick enough to deserve care, permission to prioritize our health over productivity, permission to spend money on ourselves, permission to ask for help. Diana's labs were always fine, yet she was barely functioning. The idea of not bad enough became a mantra in her head. I must not be sick enough to deserve help. And the research backs this up. On average, someone with autoimmune conditions sees almost 5 doctors over nearly 5 years before receiving a diagnosis. That's 5 years of being told, you're fine, while your body is screaming otherwise. Then there's the question of prioritizing health over productivity. Diana was always falling asleep at stoplights, but still showing up to work. Lunch breaks became car naps. Workplace culture demanded that she justify every health need, proving that she was worthy of taking care of herself. And what about money? Surgery, medications, supplements, it all felt like a gamble. But the real cost of waiting, the harder to calculate lost energy, missed promotions, strained relationships, years of just surviving, and asking for help. Oh, this one's heavy. Diana thought she had to do it all on her own. Her regret later, she wished she found someone who had been there before. Someone who could guide her, save her time, money, energy. Asking for help often feels like admitting weakness, especially when you've built this independence into your identity. But in reality, that independence is often costing us everything. Why do we wait for permission to take care of ourselves? Part of it is the medical system. Women wait longer for pain medication in the ER. Symptoms often get dismissed as stress, hormones, sensitivity. Lab ranges detect disease, not optimal health. And the internalized message, if your tests are normal, maybe it's in your head. Then there's the workplace culture. Accommodations feel like special treatment. Employees have to justify themselves, proving they're sick enough, while spending energy hiding their struggles. 40% of employees with chronic conditions report hiding them out of fear of judgment or discrimination. There's also how we were socialized as women. We're taught to be accommodating, not demanding, to be good patients, good employees, good partners, always minimizing our own needs. And for high achievers like Diana, self reliance becomes a badge of honor. Asking for help feels like failure. We normalize suffering, pushing through, keep waiting for a permission slip that never comes. Meanwhile, what happens while we wait? Diana spent over a decade normalizing symptoms, trying to fix it alone with surgery, medications, DIY approaches. When she finally got diagnosed, she felt overwhelmed by the restrictions of AIP, unsure of what she could eat, and exhausted by all the trial and error. The costs stack up. Health symptoms cascade like dominoes. Fatigue, poor sleep, weakened immunity, joint pain. Career opportunities diminish because energy is so limited. Relationships feel strained because you feel like a burden. Financial costs pile up. And most painful, time, the most precious resource, gets lost in trying to figure it out alone. This isn't just personal, it's organizational. On average, chronic conditions cause 73 lost days per employee annually, with presenteeism costing 2 to 3 times more than absenteeism. That's $580,000 per 1,000 employees. Talent pipelines leak. Innovation stalls. Cognitive energy gets spent managing symptoms instead of thriving. Waiting for permission costs everything. But here's the truth. You've had permission all along. Not from a doctor, not from your boss, not from your partner. From the moment your body sent signals, you had permission to listen. So, an action step is let's reframe our questions. Instead of asking, am I sick enough? Ask, do I deserve to feel good? Instead of, what if I'm overreacting? Ask, what if I'm under responding? Instead of, should I spend money on this? Ask, what is this costing me not to invest? Instead of, what if I ask for help and it doesn't work? Ask, what if I don't ask and waste another year? Give yourself permission to trust your body over labs, to stop performing wellness for others, to invest in yourself as a necessity rather than a luxury, to get support from someone who's been there, to make your workplace work for you, and to track your body like a treasure map. Log your symptoms, energy, triggers. Every clue you uncover brings insight and clarity, so you stop guessing and start responding. Here's your permission slip. Fill it out in your mind, out loud, or on paper. This is another action step. I give myself permission to trust what my body is telling me, to ask for support, to invest in my health without guilt, to stop performing wellness for others, to take up space with my needs, and to get help before I am in crisis. And sign it. It's been there all along, that permission slip. You just have to sign it. Listen to this again if you have to. If you're ready to move forward, we can map your patterns and create a plan for you that works for you. You don't need permission. You just need to decide that you're worth it. Corporate leaders, this is my action step for you. Let's redesign accommodation so employees thrive before they're in crisis. Stop waiting for permission. That's never coming. Stop trying to be sick enough. Stop apologizing for needing support. You've had that permission slip all along. You've had permission all along. The question is, when will you give it to yourself? I'm Desiree Borland, and you're listening to Stronger Than Autoimmune. Remember, you don't need permission to take care of yourself. You just need to start.